What's your favorite college rivalry?
Probably in football, it's got to be Michigan State. And I know that's biased, but the amount of shit talk that happens when nothing's going on in June, like they're talking about last year's game, they're talking about 2 years ago's game, they're talking about the time. Shit, they still talk about the punt. They still talk about
Yeah,
that every
that's my most memorable game. MSU
yeah,
Michigan game. That block punt game. That was
yeah.
legendary.
Like it's like that kind of
Very
stuff that
legendary.
kind of gets you into the rivalry where like that's the crazy thing about rivalries is the most improbable thing can happen. We've seen that at Auburn, Alabama. Like we've seen that, with the Stanford and California back in the 80s. Like the craziest thing happens in rivalries, but I got to keep it a little biased with Michigan State. But in
But
basketball, obviously Duke, North Carolina, just because of, how the history behind it. And obviously we've seen recently UNC was crushing Coach K's dreams last year on his last year. So there's all of that. But yeah, it's just one of those where everyone comes to play. Like, yeah, and I remember, on the basketball side of Michigan State, where we were beating Michigan by like 30 points and they just threw all the white boys in, like that's when like when you beat the ass of the rival, that's a good feeling too. Like as much as we love the close ones and the improbable ones, the ass tappers are nice too. You don't have to. You can
yeah,
just relax and just watch it
yeah,
happen.
yeah, man. You took the words out of my mouth, man. Obviously the MSU and the U of M. That's all time. That should be just not just in a specific sport, but just in all sports. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to be specific to answer the question, to your point, I had the same thing in terms of UNC Duke. That's my favorite college rivalry. Like always, I feel like there's always like a some sort of magical moment when those two teams play in terms of college basketball, and there's so much history behind it. There's always like so much like energy, and I'm always been like I grew up watching like college basketball and stuff, and always like when they have like the college game day,
Yeah.
it's always like it's always crazy. So and then the games is always crazy, and everything. So yeah, that's probably my favorite college rivalry. Yeah, 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 yeah.